Hey guys, so today we are doing a top 5 video. Today we're talking about spices you need in your cabinet today. So the first thing we're going to talk about, spice we're going to talk about is salt and pepper. They're included with each other because you can't really have one without the other. What salt does, it actually brings out the flavors of sweetness. Also the savory spices, you're going to need a lot of salt. Well, not a lot of salt, but you're going to need salt for that. We also, pepper, what it does is it brings a little bit of heat to the environment, also a little bit of sweetness and aroma. These two put together are an amazing combination when it comes to flavors, and if you're getting into cooking, get used to using really good salt and really good pepper, preferably freshly ground, of course. So there's a couple of options you can do. There is pepper grinders. You can also use a spice grinder. I highly suggest those because that means you can grind your own spices whenever you want. So when it comes to salts, I highly suggest kosher salt to start out with. There's also sea salt, but understand this: the finer the grind, the less salt you need. So I always suggest everybody start with a really good coarse salt, and that way you can get used to the amount of salt in there. That way it's really easy for you to not over salt things. We're talking about simplicity, so keep it simple, really good coarse salt, get you going. Next thing we're going to talk about is cinnamon. So cinnamon, it's one of those spices that actually goes in almost every single type of cuisine. Even Japanese cuisine actually calls for cinnamon. So there isn't a cuisine that doesn't use cinnamon. You can use it for sweet, savory, Indian, Japanese food, Chinese food uses this. A lot of Hispanic origin foods all use cinnamon. So if you don't have good cinnamon in there, whether it's in the stick form or in the powder form, just go pick these up. They're super inexpensive and you can get them anywhere. So like this one is like, I think it was only $2. You can find it everywhere. So red chili flakes. So red chili flakes are pretty much the, I would say, the bigger form of chili powder. So if you run out of chili powder, you just get some of your red chili flakes, put in your spice grinder, and it's the same stuff. I suggest this in everyone's kitchen, mainly because it brings heat to the into any dish that you have, and it's super simple to store, and they last a pretty long time. As long as you have an airtight container, you're gonna have this for a long time. Next thing we're going to talk about is cumin. So cumin is an awesome spice. Actually, a lot of Hispanic food, if you think about it, cumin is pretty much the forefront, especially when you think about fajitas. Cumin is your spice to go to right here. In Indian food, they use cumin pretty much in every dish, and it's one of those spices that honestly, if you were to just put it on anything, you're automatically going to have good food. So one of the things I always suggest, get some cumin in your closet. You can also get the cumin seeds. Those will last longer. So understand this, when you're talking about spices, if you buy it whole and you grind it yourself, they'll last longer and they'll have a lot more flavor, which means you use a little bit less, which on the bottom line is you get more bang for your buck if you get them whole. But get the small bottles of the pre-ground stuff. Don't go big bottles because they'll go stale before you use the entire big bottle. So if you do buy it ground, buy it small. Now last but not least, we have the Italian seasoning. So Italian seasoning is really awesome because it's one of those seasonings that you get the herb flavor, you get the aromatics, you can put it into soups, you can put it into fish, you can do it in pork, anything really, and it just gives, it takes your food to another level. So I suggest get a little Italian seasoning, and it's the same thing, buy it small, buy it often, unless you're going to be drying your own herbs. For this one, we actually only have, in this one, it is oregano, marjoram, thyme, rosemary, and sage. If you got those herbs and you just dry them out, which an easy way to dry them out is you set your oven to about the lowest temperature in your oven. You put your herbs on a sheet tray, throw them in there, let them go for about an hour or until they start becoming really brittle. You take them out, you put them in your spice grinder, or you just leave them in their whole form in a mason jar, airtight, and then you just grind them whenever you need it. This is a good way to actually get really good flavor in your food. So if you have questions about any of the food or spices that we used today, go to our description down below. We'll have all the information about and how to buy them either through Amazon or in your local supermarkets. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Our YouTube channel is actually just started, and I hope you guys subscribe down below and give us a thumbs up. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful day, and of course, God bless.